This is part 2. If you haven't checked out part 1, make sure you do that first. We're also going to hear the word lean a lot. We've got videos on that you guys should check out.
Success is a very simple routine that you repeat over and over again.
Paul, give us some tips about hiring great employees, having a good team.
And then you got to target it towards people who are called mavens. You ever heard of the word maven?
No.
It's not about accelerated growth. It's about creating a stable platform that is continuously improving. Instead of scaling from 50 people, you might only have to scale to 55 instead of 150.
Statistically, a large number of businesses fail in the first year. And I believe it's like 90% of startups as well fail within a certain period of time. Why do you think that is? First
of all, not the right work ethic. Number 2, don't understand the proposition of really how hard it is. They want to be cushy. They still want to drive the nice car. They still want to have the nice clothes. They still want to live in the nice neighborhood. I mean, they want to be comfortable. Starting a company is not about being comfortable. It's about Navy SEAL type mentality. I'm going to overcome no matter what.
Okay.
So that's number 1. Number 2, the misallocation of capital. Not spending the capital correctly, right? They always say you got to have capital. It is not capital. It's how you spend the capital that matters.
You touched on that.
And then the next thing is poor counselors. You need to have people around you who every decision you make, particularly every critical decision you make, you're discussing that with someone who's older, wiser, smarter, and who's been there. For me, I had Dennis Gazzara. He was a very successful engineer at General Dynamics, started his own company, and I would talk to Dennis for hours on night. He would go on and on telling me, Paul, you got to be careful of this. You're filling the pipeline. Be careful of filling the pipeline. Then you're going to have all this inventory. You're not going to have this stuff. If you don't hold to the tolerances on this, the stuff's going to start coming back to you. Dennis was just like one thing after another. Bah, 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 bah. My head was spinning from Dennis Gazzara. Okay? Spinning. Okay?
Powerful.
Work ethic. Misappropriation of capital. Not having good mentors around you that you go through and you humble yourself. I can tell you more people that didn't have good mentors that pissed away more money and more time and more resources because they were not humble enough to realize they didn't know it all. Okay, so let's take a look at the third hand, because this is a fascinating product. The first product was just a single pole that was about 56 inches tall, 59 inches tall. And now we have all these different iterations of it, all these different sizes. And then what we did is we simply said, what could this be used for? It could be used for holding up an electrical fixture for an electrician. It could be used for a crown molding. It could be used for supporting a laser, to position a laser. It could be used for drywall. It could be used for making a dust barrier like we have right here. It can be used as a load jack in the back of your truck to keep things from sliding around. So the applications are crazy.
That's initially,
amazing. I wanted it for one thing, to hold up crown molding, to hold up a cabinet.
This is lateral thinking in action,
exactly.
Right?
So then we said, what else? What else can this be applied to? So if you have a clever product like a third hand that has multiple applications, in a marketing standpoint, you want to show all those different applications and try to find and get your users to come up with more solutions. So a lot of people have used this in the film industry, the industry you're into. They use their green screens behind it. They use all their backdrops. They use it to support it. There's all kinds of things that this is used for in other industries outside the woodworking and construction industry.
Okay. Guys, make sure you check out our videos about lateral thinking. We talk about that more with Paul in our episode. So make sure it's probably going to be in the description below. Check it out. So a good product doesn't need marketing. It sells itself. Would you agree with that? And if no, let's talk about
so we don't have
ways.
A marketing department. We don't have a marketing department because we go to market by using our iPhone, quick little 60-second, 2-minute videos that we post on YouTube. And then we have a big following and people like our stuff and they pass it around virally. So we don't need a marketing department.
So you're using social media.
Yeah, we use social media and very simple, very low tech. We used to have a videographer. We used to have a video department. We used to have 2 or 3 people making video.
Right.
We don't do any of that. Everything is done with our iPhone.
But you have a big following. But for viewers who don't have a following.
Let's say I make a video on that chef's knife, okay? And I send it to, I find the list of 10 different chefs and I get their email or their text message and I text message them a video. something simple, something pithy, something short. People don't like long videos. 60 seconds, this is my knife, this is the way it works. You know, the Ginza thing, whatever you want to do.
Chopping the knife.
Right. But you got to target it at a very specific people. And then you got to target it towards people who are called mavens. You ever heard of the word maven?
No. Have you guys heard of the word mavens?
I'm a maven. I'm a big mouth. When I learn of something that I like, I tell everyone. Most people don't do that. Most people are just not like, yeah, I did this thing, it's unbelievable. You know, you can see the passion in my voice. I'm a maven. You got to get your product in front of mavens.
Okay, where do you find mavens?
Well, look at, in every industry, if you go to the tech industry, if you go to, let's say, YouTube, and you want to know how to use your Apple Watch, right? So you go online, you look at the top people who interview Apple Watches, and you want to develop something new for the Apple Watch, a little clip-on thing, right?
Right.
They would be the mavens. They would be the people, the big mouths, who people are watching and listening to for their opinion. So you would make sure you send your product to that maven to try out.
Okay.
And that's what we do.
All right, Paul, a new style of doing Blitz. Quick questions, under 10 seconds each. You ready?
Ready.
All right, first question. What do you hate to do when it comes to business?
Dealing with stupid political garbage that people bring to work. All their problems that just has nothing to do with work, because people get self-absorbed about themselves instead of thinking about the customer that they're here to serve.
Awesome. That's an amazing answer. What would you tell your 18-year-old self?
I would take 1 year and sit on a beach, if I could, and read. That's the first answer. And just learn about life. If you had the opportunity to travel for 1 year and you had a budget, which I didn't, that would be another powerful thing.
Wow.
And then above all those, find the smartest guy you know. The most successful person, the one that is most self-engaged in life, whether they're going to have to be at least 40 years old or older, because there's no way young people have it figured out at that point. And I would say, I want to work for you for free. And I would spend 1 year of my life, a little puppy dog, learning. That's what I would do.
Okay. How far ahead do you have to plan? I'll leave it up to you to answer that.
Now that I know what I know, 100 years. You know, I wish that I was thinking about what my life would have been like at 80 and 90 when I was very young, because I'm very tuned in to what my life's gonna look like at 80 or 90, and it can look really ugly if you're not very deliberate about it. Deliberate about your health,
right?
Deliberate about developing and keeping your mind sharp, because I'm telling you, I'm 60. The decline is like this. It's so steep and so fast, it's unbelievable.
So think
long-term. And that's coming from a guy who's super healthy, super fit, very agile, reads a book a week, you know, all that. And I'm telling you, the decline is like this. So you got to stay on your game.
Okay. You guys, here's Paul's operation, FastCap. As you can see behind us, a lot of things going on. Paul, let's talk about accelerated growth for this company. I mean, you started not at this size, so what can you share about that?
Well, the truth of the matter is you don't want accelerated growth. It's
you
a
don't?
nightmare.
Okay.
No, you do
but
not
we want the truth here.
You do not want accelerated growth. You want stable, consistent growth. The turtle wins, not the rabbit.
Not
the one that consistently is improving in a nice, stable platform. This is much more important than like this, because when you go like this, you break into chaos. So you expend this much effort, and this much effort is just in waste. It's not actually doing anything. So I can't even tell you the number of companies, friends that I have, literally friends that I have that have $150 million companies, not $30 million, $150, $250 million companies, $500 million companies. They don't make any money.
Wow.
They're broke. But they got accelerated growth, by God.
To the 500 million.
Yeah, and they're in debt up to their eyeballs. Zero. Nada.
That's amazing, Paul.
It's not about accelerated growth. It's about creating a stable platform that is continuously improving, focusing on quality, not quantity.
Right.
Quantity is the lie that everybody else. So if you want to look like everybody else, you want to have all the travails and pain and all the chaos that most people have in their companies, because I'm telling you, most people have it. It's just crap. It's just a storm from
Right.
start to finish.
That's your norm out
You
there.
go for accelerated growth.
All right, next question. What's your top 2 tips that you can give to our viewers to have more success in business? Under 10 seconds.
Read, 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 read.
10, okay. What's your favorite business book and why?
Good to Great, without a doubt, because it
Good to
lays
Great.
out the top 12, 13 companies Jim Collins identified and why they were able to create sustainable growth. Every page is perfect.
Okay. Elon Musk said that starting a company is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. Would you say the same thing?
Well, I wouldn't say the same thing because I have a different perspective on Elon Musk. This is going to be longer than 10 seconds.
Okay.
So Elon Musk came from South Africa, limited resources compared to Paul Akers, who was born and raised in the United States in a middle-class family. So he had huge problems to overcome. He had to immigrate to a different country, Canada, and then to the United States. I didn't have to. I was set up in the greatest country in the world, and everything was served to me on a platter. So things were much easier for me than Elon Musk. Elon Musk had to take bigger risks and had more courage.
Hence staring into the abyss.
He is staring into the abyss. So he's in a different league. And this is the important thing. Money suffocates creativity. Would you say Elon Musk is more creative than Paul Akers by a factor of 10,000, maybe a million, right?
I would think so.
He had less resources. Money suffocates creativity. His creativity is hyper because he had so little to work with compared to Paul Akers, who had so much comparatively to someone raised in South Africa.
Right. This is the extended Blitz section, but this is so powerful. Money suffocates
It's
creativity.
Correct.
Paul, give us some tips about hiring great employees, having a good team. What are some things that we could learn from that?
Right. Well, we'll take Yuri, for instance. Let's go over here.
Okay.
This is our digital printer. And Yuri has been with us. Yuri, how long have you been with us?
18 years.
18.
Oh, long time.
That's
the company's 23 years old. So
Wow.
he's been with us a long time. So when Yuri came to me, the reason why I hired him, and this is my opinion, is I remember sitting down and interviewing him like yesterday. He was very eager. He was he really wanted the job. He worked at another company at the time. And I think, why did you want a different job?
I was just really was striving to be for the excellence, and I was seen over there. I was like stuck and do things.
They didn't listen to you.
They didn't listen. They doesn't wanna get me something like I was trying like to say like you guys gonna save company money and this and that and that.
Okay.
So this is the key for everyone. If you want to hire good people and you want to create a good team, you need to get people like Yuri who are not satisfied. So people who are not satisfied and always want to be making everything better, this is one of the key characteristics, and that's what I felt Yuri wanted. He was frustrated that the boss wouldn't listen to him, right? And so here he has basically total freedom. Or am I wrong? Do you have freedom?
Oh yeah, I have really big freedom. I could change my not only machinery but whole like lifestyle here, like whole different things like setups and whatever, make improvements and like in the middle of the day, not even we do every morning, but I can stop anytime and just make it happen that my life would be easier in that to the rest of the day or the rest of my life or the rest of my
It's a great place to work, it sounds like.
Well,
the environment you created.
We call this emotional energy. So he is emotionally attached to work because he has freedom. So if you have someone like before in his old job, they didn't listen to him. So is he going to be working with enthusiasm? Probably not.
I hope the business owners take note, right? If your environment isn't so, you can change it today. I want some words of encouragement maybe for somebody watching in their 11th month in the business. They're struggling. They can't figure out why. What would you tell them?
Don't overcomplicate things. Success is a very simple routine that you repeat over and over again. Take care of your health. Get up early in the morning. Exercise. Stimulate your mind with external information by reading. Be counseling with people on a regular basis. Just get a few of these routines built into your life. Question everything. Never accept someone's answer as gospel. that it can't be done. If I told you the number of times people told me I can't be done and I proved them wrong, it's unbelievable. It's just nonstop, one after another. That $750,000 machine over there, okay? That machine over there couldn't print edge to edge. And I said, BS, it can't print
I'll
edge to edge.
figure it out.
And everybody said, no, it can't print edge to edge. It can't be. I said, don't even tell me for 1 second.
For $250,000?
$750,000.
A machine can't print edge to edge?
Right. $750,000. And I said, it's going to print edge to edge. We got the engineers in there. It prints edge to edge.
Nice, Paul.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't accept the BS answers. Everybody's just like, well, that's what the book says. You've
Think
got to
contrary.
be kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to be the contrary.
So let's talk about scale, though.
Okay.
What can you share with us on that? How do you scale a company?
Scaling is a byproduct of good processes. So you want to become very focused on all the processes from order entry to order delivery to packaging to the way you deliver information to the customer. If you focus on those processes and do them more and more efficiently on a day-by-day basis, then it will be easy for you to scale. Because then when the burden increases, when the demand increases, you just apply a little bit more to the same thing instead of an exponential amount of effort, instead of an exponential amount of capital, resources, hiring more people. So if you haven't got good processes and you have to scale from 50 people to 150 people, what's the first thing you got to do? Hire a human resource person, right? That's overhead, that's bureaucracy. That cuts into your bottom line. But if you have great processes and the processes are improving, instead of scaling from 50 people, you might only have to scale to 55 instead of 150.
Right.
Right?
Makes every sense.
The differential is the inefficiency.
Focus on the process.
Right? So you're scaling, if you focus on the process, your scaling is going to go like this instead of like this. And this difference is largely waste. So we don't have an HR department, right? We don't need an HR department.
We got this amazing facility that operates in the most leanest way.
And more importantly, amazing people.
Right.
Right? That know how to work in a team environment and know how to find the right people they want to work with, because we let our people hire the people. So we don't have to overscale. We don't have to hire 3 people to do the job that a half a person could do, because we get the quality person that can follow good quality processes. So our scaling effort is not like this, like most companies. Our scaling effort is like this. You see, does that make sense?
It does. I hope you guys are taking out a lot. Paul, it's always a pleasure.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you so much.
Anytime, Paul.
Appreciate it. Well, that's a wrap for part 2. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support, and thank you for watching.